Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at some of the evidence surrounding the Cobain case. See if we could find some information or some things that they have missed. I'm happy to say today we have a special guest, American Spy Fox. So let's get started. Let's take a look, see what we can find here.
So I'm going to do some dip and speak my mind.
All right. I know I am, for one, excited to hear some of your thoughts and opinions on this information, this evidence here. So, what will you be dipping today?
Vagisil regular strength anti-itch cream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big digger right there.
Kurt Cobain's first credit card was not on him when he was found. His body was found. People think that maybe someone had stolen the credit card off of him and had used it after he had already passed away, due to some of the charges on the statement taking place well after he was pronounced to be dead. So the counter argument to that is that the dates on the statement are inaccurate, delayed, possibly as much as a day. So we're going to see if we can find anything other than that might be helpful here. For me, taking a look at this, I noticed a lot of the transactions that took place did not have a credit card present at the time of the purchase. If we look at the first five lines here on the statement, we have a mail order for $0 that was approved. Good thing. That's great. Next, the Whole Earth Elec. Location Concord. Approved for $4,262. For those who do not know, Whole Earth Electric is like a Best Buy, or was like a Best Buy back in the 90s. Is a catalog kind of thing that was probably purchased through a catalog. I don't know if it was Courtney who made that purchase, but there it is. Below that, Travel Entertainment and Travel Entertainment. One for $3,500 and the other for $3,000. First one was declined, second one was approved. No card present for that. Most likely the Travel Entertainment cost, travel agent kind of expenses. Below that we have Barney's, Beverly Hills. Barney's is I guess a retail shop, high-end class stuff. Somewhere where definitely Courtney would shop, not likely Kurt. For the total amount of $799.97, it was approved. No card was present. All right, so we have no cards for this. Then the next ones, 4 statements are cash advances. So like if you go to an ATM, you can get money out using a credit card. Interest rates high. I'm sure they didn't give a rat's ass about the interest rate. But these were all declined. The response was declined. NSF, card present, yes. NSF is insignificant funds. That means there was not enough money in the account to make these withdrawals. These all happened in Seattle. Card was there. These were all done on the 1st of April, which we all know Kurt was in Los Angeles till late. So these seem to be all maybe Callie. Callie may have had a card that he used. I'm not sure. I believe that he did have a credit card of some sort. I don't know if it was the same. Well, it kind of appears that it would be the same bank account that these other items were being used with. And then again, after that, we have Barney's again for the exact same amount, which is strange. And there's 6 attempts to make this purchase, all of which declined because of insignificant funds. And this time the credit card seems like it was present and declined. And if we take a look at the times, they're just minutes apart. So it's like they ran it, it didn't work. They waited some time, they ran it, didn't work, and they did that 6 times. Finally, it looks like they gave up. If we look at the time difference between these swipes here, it doesn't seem like it is too significant of a range between swipes. So that kind of tells me that the computer was able to log the time pretty fairly accurate between any time the card was swiped. Otherwise, if it delayed, it would be delayed for everything. So it may have been delayed for the initial one that was made at, let's see, 6:51, and maybe 6:51. Maybe they ran it, a few hours early. I wouldn't expect it to be much later than that. But the card was present. That's significant for us to know. And the next one's the one that is contributed to the purchase of airline tickets that Kurt made to Seattle from Los Angeles. And it was approved. There was no card present. No card. So Kurt made this purchase without having his credit card. Probably did it all over the phone. There was no online back then, so yeah. So it looks like he may have done it over the phone. Normally, I would think he would have called his travel agent to have made these arrangements. Maybe he did do that. I don't know. And below that, we have more purchases around the same time, about 40 minutes later. Delta Air, both for $150. Again, these could be, I have no idea. I have no idea what those would be. Some people claim that those are additional plane tickets. I don't know, but it looks like 3 Delta Airs and then a retail for $150. If you look at the timestamps here, 445, 447, 448, all pretty much the same time period. So it looks to me like those were all purchased at the same time, or right there. No credit card again. And this pickup CD, I do not know what that means. We used to have a thing that was COD, cash on delivery. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. I don't know if that's related or has anything to do with it. I would tend to think maybe it would mean charge declined, that it didn't go through, and so that I have no idea. But from the understanding is Courtney had canceled the credit card after Kurt made the purchase for his airline ticket. I kind of wonder if it wasn't Kurt that had maybe canceled the credit card. I mean, seeming how his one purchase that he did make is he didn't have his credit card. Maybe he had a bunch of these floating around. Maybe Callie had one, Courtney had one. And I think at this time he really didn't want to continue to give his money away to Courtney. So it would make more sense that he canceled the credit cards than she canceled the credit cards, which may be what alerted her to his leaving, and she may have called. If Kurt would have canceled it and she would have ran her charge card for 6 or whatever times and it not going through, I'm sure she would have called the bank, tried to find out what was going on. And if Kurt had called the bank himself and canceled or moved his funds to another account, it would probably prompt her to try to find him. So I don't know what happened, but it's interesting that when the card was present and when it wasn't. So I think this is kind of irrelevant with the credit card. The credit card missing, I think, is kind of irrelevant as far as someone taking it and using it. I don't think it was taken out of his wallet. I don't think he had it. This here is the police report. that was done on Courtney Love after she was arrested at the Peninsula Hotel when she called them herself. Handwritten notes to herself found by Rosemary Carroll, their attorney, where it had a list of things to do, and one of those things to do was to get arrested. Why would someone want to get arrested? Well, it's a great alibi. There's no other reason that I could think of that she had on her the credit card in Kurt's name. So looks to me like she had Kurt's credit card. What do you think, American Spy Fox? You think got any ideas?
What the is up with that?
The Seattle Police Department, in their police report that they provide on their site, have these really horrible Xerox copy. They really didn't give two shits about whether or not you can actually see it. They just had to put them out, so they did so real quick. And so I put same make and model of gun, put it in comparison so you can get a better idea of exactly where these fingerprints were found on the gun. So let's take a look at where these fingerprints are exactly, where they were lifted. They might not be legible, but this is where they were located, and I think that's something that's very important to understanding what happened here. I believe this is the second set of prints that was pulled. This again is the same prints and where they were found, just a different angle. Third, I believe, set that was found. It's found right in this area somewhere. I can't be exact, but close to that area right there is where it was found. Let's take a look at the next set here. Now this one here is the most confusing and hardest for me to understand because the location is very hard to distinguish coming from the rest of the fingerprints locations of where this would be located. It seems like they're telling you it's about right into here in this kind of area. I believe it was probably more up here towards the top before the barrel, kind of where it connects into the gun itself, or the whatever, I don't know what you call that. So I think it was on top of there. Here's, I think, the last set that was found, and it was found just by the trigger. Now if we put all those together, we get a better overview of where all the prints were found. And so if we take a look at what that would look like if a hand was to grab onto a gun and leave those prints, it would look similar to this, with the thumb being up on top of the gun, not down like that. It would be up and resting along the length of the gun. But this is kind of what it's looking to be like from the information they provided us. So pretty interesting. This next picture is where Kurt's hand would have been found wrapped around the barrel. I'm not sure, but that's not all of the things that they fingerprinted. They also fingerprinted the ammunition, the live shell that was fired, as well as 2 live shells that were found inside the shotgun in the chamber. One was, I think, halfway in the chamber, and the other one loaded into the gun as well. So with these 3 items, the 3 shells, the procedure that they took was they opened the sealed brown envelope marked items number 9 containing 2 live 20 gauge Winchester shells, and item number 10, spent shell casing 20 gauge AA Winchester, and place S glue tank, which is they placed they placed this ammunition into the super glue tank, which is similar to a fish tank. It's like a glass enclosure or a plexiglass enclosure, and they actually lifted 2 latent prints cards from the 3 items. So that's very interesting because they don't ever expound on this. We don't know what 2 shells or if it was 2 shells, but they lifted 2 prints. Were those prints legible? We don't know. This next picture I just thought I'd throw in here. It was I was doing a little bit of research on Caitlin Moore and kind of where her place was They were surveillancing her place at the time of Kurt's disappearance to see if he was coming and going from her apartment, which I believe is this apartment building on the corner. And the reason I thought I'd post it is because I thought it was pretty funny what I found. If you look on this window up here, you'll see a little white note. When you zoom in it, that's what it says. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Apparently not a big Trump supporter living there. That's what we have here today for our evidence review. Special guest, American Spy Fox. Let's talk about your video. Your number one video out there right now is gotten well over a million views now. The last phone call that Pat Smear received and what was said and what happened during that phone call. It looks like the video is 5 minutes and 35 seconds long. It was stolen completely from someone else's work. Just cut and paste job there. None of it's original content. So way to go there. So let's take a look at what a million people wanted to see.
It was really sad. I had a message from Kurt, but I wasn't helping him. And so whatever help he needed from me, I couldn't help him. And that's the last time I ever talked to him, so.
The whole 5 minutes and 35 seconds summarized in 10 seconds. So now you don't need to waste the rest of your 5 minute 20 seconds to go see this video. You just basically saw the whole thing that you needed to see. Yeah. Alright guys, see you guys next time. Please subscribe.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.